Wow, it has been an absolutely crazy week, and I actually have a lot more to say about it, so stay tuned over the next couple of days. And as usual, just want to say welcome and much love, Trey. If you appreciate all the support, everybody sticking up for me through that craziness. I call out witch hunts and immediately have a witch hunt coming at me. Again, I poked the bear. I'm not a perfect person. I took steps to correct, and I'm happy with the current position, and I have a lot more to say about that over the next couple of days. But I want to talk in this video and get really fucking real. So buckle your seatbelts. I'm going to talk about some stuff that I have never ever talked about before in the magic community, and it's going to get really fucking real, and it's going to go in a direction you're probably not expecting. But I've been thinking about why I get attacked so much by hate mobs in this community and in the internet in general. And first of all, I don't consider myself a victim, and I also feel that I create the situation a lot of the time by doing things like poking the bear. And I was a dick to a lot of people for a long time on the internet just because I didn't know how to handle the attention and the trolls. Dogs barking at me. Most of that was reactive though, my banning out the negativity and stuff like that. But between Witch Hunt Gate or Magic for Bad Gate, whatever you want to call it, Mein Kampf Gate, even going back before that, as soon as I burst onto the scene, people did not like me just from the sight of me from the beginning. And this is where we're going to go to. And again, I want to say that I take a lot of responsibility for everything in my situation, and I can always do a better job, and I'd like to do a better job, and I'd like to get better, and I would like to take as much responsibility as I can. But there's certain factors outside of our control that affects why people don't like us. And one of those that has been a factor all of my life is being, and again, I hate to pull, just preempt this by saying, I hate to pull the race card here. I've never done it, but I'm about to do it and talk to you about it on the real. I've never done it because it's in my raising and my blood to not be a victim, but I need to do it to explain the situation and also why I'm transitioning to Hawaii. But as an Asian male in the West, if you're a strong Asian male, you are a threat. People don't like you. People in the West do not want to see you succeed. I'm speaking in generalities, and I'm going to explain the history here. So just listen in before you respond to anything. Strong Asian male is very threatening to the West. Asian male who is athletic, who defies expectations, who does his own thing, who steps out of line, who's loud, who dates white women. That's a way to be a perfect target of hate, I know because I've grown up, got racial slurs throughout my entire life, especially on the internet and even from the magic community. People saying, fuck this little Asian dude and stuff like that. And while a lot of people don't say it when they hate me, I know for some of them it is the reason why. I'm not going to assume, and they don't necessarily know. It's subconscious, it's built in, it's ingrained. So let me walk you through a little history of Asian men in the West in general. Most of you guys don't know this. If you weren't taught this in school, no one has ever talked about it, because Asian men don't tend to be advocates for themselves in this way. Because Asian women especially tend to not be advocates for Asian men in this way. But if you look at the history, Asian men started to come over in the 1850s-ish for economic opportunities to build, jobs like railroad, etc. They had jobs over here, they could get money, maybe they could get a wife, or they could send the money home to their wives or bring a wife over. Almost immediately, there were what's called the anti-miscegenation laws. You can look this up. Also known as anti-interracial laws that forbade Asian men and white women from marrying because, fuck these Asian men, they're a threat to our women, whatever. And it was really not symmetrical by gender because at the time there's no Asian women over here, just Asian men, right? So there's that law. And then, so the Asian men are thinking, all right, well, I can bring over I'll bring my wife over, whatever. Wrong again, because there's a new law, the Chinese Exclusion Act, the actual name of it, 1882, I believe, which limited Asian immigration coming across. So now what are these Asian men going to do? They can either go back or live lonely lives for the rest of their lives, their choice. So based on the laws of the US government, off to a great start. Meanwhile, we also have the pigtail ordinance, which you can look up. This made it illegal for Asian men to have long hair. It's also one of the reasons that I have long hair, because it was against the law. The pigtail ordinance, you know, the Chinese top knot Q thing, the long hair, made that illegal, and they rounded people up and cut off their hair. And then in the immigration really finally got opened up with the War Brides Act, which allowed white American military men serving time abroad to take Asian women back with them as their wives. So the Asian women are finally coming across, but they're brought by the military to be with the white men, right? So it creates a situation which you can obviously see through these laws, which are real, and you can look up, that basically you have the situation where Asian men have been basically prevented from having wives through the military and through the government laws. Well, that hasn't been the same of Asian women, so it's kind of created a rift here, and a lot of that stuff has continued on through the media. The media hates strong Asian men, very rarely will show them, whenever possible, effeminizes them, emasculates them, never lets them get the girl or, you know, find love, kiss, so on. That's another reason I don't watch TV. It's another reason I decided I would go make my own media and be a strong Asian man for people to look up to. And it's another reason why I've attracted so much ire and anger from the start, just for my appearance, because people don't like strong Asian men, want to push them out of the margins, push them out of the community, right? And there is some resentment, obviously, from that. I try to minimize it and mitigate it, but some of that has been maintained by Asian women who don't necessarily know the history, and also, you know, we want you guys to be advocates for us. We really need that, and we don't necessarily get it. So that brings us to today, where on the mainland, I just see the legacy of that everywhere that I look, and it makes me want to leave here. I like Mexico. I like Europe, because they don't have the history of that, and people don't look at me through those eyes and through that frame. And I also like Hawaii, because, well, Hawaii has kind of a fucked up history as well. The history is way different, and the treatment of Asian men is way different. You know, we're in power there. We have the majority. We have the government, and we have respect, and we have pride, and we have the ability to be strong. So that makes me want to spend time in Hawaii, and that's one of the reasons I just spent 3 months there, is because not necessarily I have a racial advantage, but it's one of the few places I don't have a racial disadvantage, and people aren't really mad at me for being a strong Asian dude. So I haven't, again, that got real, and just wanted to let you guys know where I'm coming from, and now that the spotlight is on me, kind of push my own agenda, but also let you guys know why I think that people are so mad at me. One of the reasons why, again, I poke the bear, and I'm loud, and I've been a dick to people, but even from the start, people are just fucking mad seeing me, and I see that on the internet all the time, and people will still make the racial slurs, and I'm taking some heat on the internet for using the Jap slur, whatever. You know, I'm not mad at Japanese people. We have our history. I think it's okay to joke about that rivalry there. So I know some people are like, well, that's hypocritical, whatever. Well, the truth is I have some resentments as well, and I have good reason to have resentments as well. So I try to minimize it as much as possible. It's absurd that I have to talk about this in magic, but I think it's necessary to do, because some of you guys are really confused why all the hate. And I honestly, I think that is a big factor, and no one will say it. And I again, don't want to make myself out to be a victim. That's why I've never ever talked about this stuff, but I believe that to be a factor and an issue. So let me know what you think. If you're, I don't care your race or gender or whatever if you're following me. I try to look past the history and have respect and love for the individuals. So appreciate you all. And I have a lot of love, especially for the Asian men. I try to be the best role model that the media would never show, and use YouTube to do that and Instagram to do that. So that's a lot of my mission. And I also wanted to say, like, one of the reasons why I wanted to speak up about it and point it out is because it's just a shame, in theory, for one more strong Asian man to be pushed out and banned for some bullshit. So think about that when you advocate for me, and think about that when you advocate in general. So thank you, appreciate you. I know this is kind of a weird topic to bring up, but I wanted to be real and broach it, and I think it was necessary. So those of you who want more info on this topic and in general on real shit, you should check out my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/TravisWoo. I'll throw a link down there below, and also Instagram.com/TravisDWoo. And let me know what you think, if you think there's more to the story and so on. But it's definitely been shaping and been interesting to be a Chinese dude in this community. And one of the things, and I want to say this before I leave, I think that the magic community is a little more open to it than greater general society, and that's one of the reasons that I came into the magic community, because there are a lot of Asian players, and there are a few strong Asian men, and some strong Asian men. And when I say strong, like, you can be strong in your own way. I don't mean to say that a lot of the Asian men are weak, but and I don't believe that either. I got respect for y'all, but I just gotta say it and go there. I feel like going there. One of the things that happened this week is I got mad, I got heated, but when I'm mad, I don't necessarily react in anger. I use it as a way to say real shit that I wouldn't otherwise say. So if none of this shit had happened this week, I wouldn't have made this video. I wouldn't have had the anger to get me motivated to say it. So, emotions pass. It's important how we use our emotions. Emotions aren't wrong or right. Reactions to emotions can be wrong or right, I think. And I always like to use anger as a way to not be mean, but to be real. So I'm being real with you here, and I'm gonna keep doing my thing. I'm trying to stand up and represent people who have really been discriminated against. And I don't see myself as a victim. I see myself as a hero. I see myself as trying to make a difference, and that's where a lot of my motivation is. But again, if you're a white dude, it's fine. I don't care, and I even advocate for you in this community and in general, because you're not really allowed to advocate for yourselves right now. So that's me, and appreciate everyone for having my back. Much love, and thanks for understanding, and let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.